in terms of the bracket, in terms of maybe we'll call it local teams or Power 5 teams, even to expand it more, any unfair seeding in your eyes?
Well, I know people were, if we could just start right here, I know there are a lot of people who were a little surprised that Virginia Tech ended up getting an 11 seed. And I know Mike Young even said yesterday on a Zoom call that pretty much tells them that if they had not beaten Duke and won that ACC tournament, that they were not going to get into the dance. So, by way of getting that auto bid, they avoid having to go to Dayton and playing tonight or tomorrow in that first four. So I guess you can call that a win. And honestly, I think you'd rather be where they are as an 11, or even if they were a 10, than being on that 8-9 line and then having to play a 1 seed in that next game. I don't think that does you any favors. You're almost better off being on the 10 line, playing at Texas, who got bumped out in the quarterfinals of the Big 12 tournament. They've had a really good year, but I don't think it's a team that Tech can't go toe-to-toe with. And see what happens. Press your luck, and you get a little bit of a better second-round matchup at that point.
Yeah, I think they should have probably gotten in regardless after they got to the finals. I think, to me, that was the automatic. That got them in. But yeah, I agree. I mean, seeding says they probably weren't getting in if they didn't beat Duke.
I think that this was such a perplexing team this year because all of their stats and their rankings and, with the net and the KenPom, and I know KenPom went there, so people are going to look at those conspiracy theories. But all of the numbers basically told you that, this Hokies team was among the top 30 to 35 teams in the country pretty much, since ACC play started. The problem is their resume and their record didn't reflect that, and it got to the point where we entered that tournament, the conference tournament week, and all of the teams on the bubble, it seemed like Tech had losses to all of them, with Dayton and Wake Forest and Xavier and all of these teams that you were basically having to jump to get in. It's like, well, yeah, I think Tech is probably better right now, but they also lost to some of these guys head-to-head. So it was tough to see them making those jumps when their resume didn't exactly reflect it with the wins. But obviously they went and took care of business, and I was definitely a little jealous of Trav, who got to be up there and kind of see all that unfold, because that really was an incredible run.
Yeah, and Jay Billis has said, I know on the shows that I've been watching, where obviously the NCAA says Sunday doesn't really matter as much anymore. I mean, obviously I think people were probably sweating when a lot of people were probably Davidson fans on Sundays over Richmond, to be honest with you. And I mean, once you saw Texas A&M go deep in the SEC, I think you had to take a gulp too, just because, I mean, you want chalk. If you're a bubble team, you want chalk to win.
Definitely.
In March. Tennessee, I think, was probably the other one. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, well, they got, a 3 seed, and people thought that they would probably be on the 2 or even possibly sneak into that 1 line.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and the SEC was really good this year. When you brought up Texas A&M, all I was envisioning was a situation where they win the SEC, Tech wins the ACC, or some combination of them both getting in and them both getting matched up in Dayton for that play-in opportunity. Because the committee loves those storylines. Oh, let's get Buzz Williams coaching against the Hokies, and only one of them can go on to the tournament. That would be some pretty good popcorn TV.
Even though the NCAA says we don't look at that, so that's just
you know that.
I probably can go back at least 20 years and find one time each way. I mean, I remember I went to the tournament when I was a teenager, and I think it was Missouri was playing when Quinn Snyder was coaching Missouri, and Quinn Snyder would have played Duke in the second round. NCAA didn't pay any attention to that. It was just a random, thing that Missouri got there. So anyway,
exactly.
And good for the Hokie women too. The Hokie women are going to play a very, very good Florida Gulf Coast team. Has that 12 seed who's 29-2, I think.
It was funny because yes, great for them. They've had an outstanding season and obviously well deserved. I was at their watch party celebration at McLean's over in Blacksburg Sunday night. And we got to talk to, obviously, Kenny Brooks and the players afterwards. And the first thing Kenny said was, I'm a little confused at how this is a 5-12 matchup because, at the time, Tech was ranked 17 and FGCU was ranked 23.
Right.
So 23rd ranked team in the country was put on the 12 line. That to me, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then he continued on to say that, they're a matchup problem. They take and make a lot of threes because I thought we were I thought we shot a lot of threes, and my staff just told me that they shot 300 more threes than even we did this year. So that's what Tech's going to be up against here in the first round. It's not a very favorable 5-12 matchup, even though those matchups tend to be chaotic anyway. I think Tech is going to have their hands full, but let's be honest, they've been able to pull off some incredible wins this year. I don't think that this is beyond their capabilities to go to College Park and take care of the Eagles and set up what would be a really fun 4-5 matchup against the Terps.